When Beetlejuice released in 1988, it instantly stood apart from anything audiences had seen before. Its bizarre humor, gothic visuals, and unpredictable energy made it a cult classic almost overnight. But as the film gained popularity, another story began forming quietly in the background, one not shown on screen. Over the years, fans and film insiders whispered about strange tensions, emotional pressure, and unexplained moments that supposedly occurred during production. These rumors became part of the film's mythology, blurring the line between fantasy and reality. Because the movie itself felt chaotic and supernatural, many assumed the set must have been the same. Yet for decades, no one at the center of the story spoke clearly about it. That silence allowed speculation to grow, turning small anecdotes into long-standing mysteries. Only much later did Winona Ryder finally address what really happened, reshaping how we understand the making of this iconic film. The rumors surrounding Beetlejuice were fueled by its unusual tone and equally unusual cast. Stories circulated about creative clashes, emotional exhaustion, and an atmosphere that felt overwhelming, especially for a young lead actress. Some claimed the set was tense, others suggested personalities conflicted constantly, while a few exaggerated tales hinted at darker moments. None of these accounts were ever fully confirmed, yet they persisted across decades, spreading through fan forums, retrospectives, and pop culture documentaries. What made these rumors so powerful was the contrast between the film's playful chaos and the idea of hidden struggles behind the camera. Because cast members often downplayed difficulties in interviews, fans felt something was being left unsaid. The lack of a clear explanation turned Beetlejuice into more than a movie, it became a puzzle. And at the center of that puzzle was Winona Ryder, whose silence only deepened the intrigue. In 1988, Winona Ryder was still at the very beginning of her career. Though she had already shown promise in earlier roles, Beetlejuice was her first major step into mainstream Hollywood. At just 15 years old, she was navigating an intense professional environment while still growing personally. Playing Lydia Dietz, a character defined by darkness, curiosity, and emotional depth, felt natural to Ryder, but the responsibility was enormous. The role demanded maturity, focus, and resilience far beyond her age. This experience would shape her artistic identity and open doors to future iconic roles. But being so young on such a demanding production also meant absorbing pressure more deeply than older cast members. Ryder's later reflections reveal how formative this period was, not just for her career, but for how she learned to survive and grow within the film industry. Tim Burton's direction was a defining force behind Beetlejuice. His style was imaginative, visually bold, and emotionally unconventional. Rather than following standard filmmaking routines, Burton focused on mood, atmosphere, and character detail. This meant long hours, constant adjustments, and elaborate practical effects. Sets were complex, makeup was time-consuming, and scenes often required patience and precision. While Burton's approach inspired creativity, it also tested endurance. For actors, especially younger ones, adapting to such an environment could be exhausting. Burton encouraged experimentation and improvisation, but he was also meticulous about achieving his vision. This balance of freedom and pressure created moments of brilliance, and moments of stress. The world Burton was building was magical, but it demanded total commitment from everyone involved, making the production as intense as it was imaginative. One of the biggest difficulties on the Beetlejuice set was the physical strain. Heavy prosthetics, intricate costumes, and hours-long makeup sessions were routine. Michael Keaton, in particular, endured exhausting transformations to become Beetlejuice, often spending more time in makeup than on camera. Special effects relied heavily on practical techniques, which required repeated takes and precise coordination. For the cast and crew, this meant long days with little rest. Lighting changes, set resets, and technical delays added to the pressure. While none of these challenges were unusual for ambitious films of the era, their cumulative effect created fatigue. For younger actors like Ryder, the environment could feel overwhelming at times. These realities explain much of the tension that later evolved into rumors, even though they were rooted more in exhaustion than in conflict. The Beetlejuice cast brought together very different personalities and acting styles. Michael Keaton's explosive, unpredictable energy contrasted sharply with Alec Baldwin's more traditional approach. These differences sometimes caused creative friction, especially during demanding scenes. Geena Davis provided a stabilizing presence, while Ryder's quiet intensity balanced the chaos around her. Though misunderstandings did occur, they were rarely personal. Most tension stemmed from fatigue, creative differences, and the pressure to deliver something original. The shared discomfort of costumes and long shoots sometimes strengthened bonds, even as it tested patience. Despite occasional clashes, there was mutual respect among the cast. Over time, these interactions were exaggerated into stories of hostility, even though the reality was far more nuanced and human. As Beetlejuice grew into a cult classic, its behind-the-scenes stories became more dramatic with each retelling. The internet amplified speculation, often turning minor frustrations into alleged major conflicts. Fans projected the film's eerie tone onto its production, assuming chaos must have ruled the set. In reality, most challenges were typical of an ambitious project pushing creative boundaries. Interviews over the years painted a more balanced picture, but without a central voice, myths filled the gaps. Memory, time, and nostalgia reshaped events, making them seem more mysterious than they were. The truth existed somewhere between admiration and exhaustion, a reality common to many creative endeavors but rarely as mythologized as this one. When Winona Ryder finally addressed the rumors, her words brought clarity rather than scandal. She acknowledged the difficulties, long hours, physical strain, emotional pressure, but firmly rejected claims of deep conflict. According to Ryder, tensions came from passion and intensity, not hostility. She described the set as challenging but inspiring, a place where she learned resilience and professionalism. Ryder emphasized respect among the cast and gratitude for the opportunity to work with Burton. Her reflections were calm, thoughtful, and reflective, revealing growth rather than resentment. By speaking honestly, she reframed the narrative, transforming decades of speculation into a story of learning, endurance, and creative ambition. Ryder's confirmation changes how Beetlejuice is remembered. Instead of a film surrounded by dark rumors, it becomes an example of artistic pressure producing lasting magic. Understanding the real challenges deepens appreciation for the performances and craftsmanship involved. The film's success was not accidental, it was earned through persistence, collaboration, and creative risk. Ryder's perspective highlights how difficult environments can still foster growth when guided by passion and mutual respect. This reframing honors the people behind the film, not just the fantasy on screen. Ultimately, the story of Beetlejuice is not one of hidden scandal, but of human effort behind extraordinary art. Winona Ryder's honesty closes a chapter that remained open for over 30 years. What once seemed mysterious now feels grounded and real. The film's strange charm was not born from chaos alone, but from discipline, imagination, and resilience. By separating myth from reality, Ryder preserves the integrity of the film's legacy. Beetlejuice remains magical, not because of rumors, but because of the people who endured challenges to create something timeless.